You know how fast you were going?
What? How fast you were going?
I don't know. 10?
8.
Be advised, this is an explicit podcast. If you're easily offended, get your panties twisted into a knot. Leave now. Run to your safe space. Get your little cloth for your tears. All the opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and his guest and do not reflect the opinions of any local or government agency. Welcome. Motor Cop Chronicles podcast. I'm your host, as always, the Iceman. Yes, I'm back. If you're a new listener, I've been in D.C. all week long. I just got back last night around 1 o'clock in the morning. So, got up, ran some errands, and first thing I'm going to do is put my episode out so that I didn't have nothing done for Sunday and Monday. Not ready. So, I hope everybody was having an enjoyable week and enjoyed the pre-recorded show on Wednesday. I'm going to skip over all the other stuff today. And Patreons, forgive me, but I want to talk about something that happened while we were gone. It's really, I was at Police Week in D.C. for Nick Touye, who died last year from a line of duty shooting that happened a few years earlier when they had the ambush in Baton Rouge. People that's been listening already know. So, while we were gone, unfortunately, another, he's also a motor cop that I've known for, I'm not saying we're close friends or nothing, but I've known this man for many years. Speak to him on and off. I'd actually even spoke to him about coming on and being a guest on the podcast before, which he had agreed to, and we never got around to it. He was shot in line of duty while we were going. He's still alive right now. His name is Shawn Kelly. He's been a cop for a long time. I don't know how many years, but it's been a real long time. So we're going to read some stuff. We're going to talk about it. And anyway, Shawn Kelly was a corporal with DenhamSprings Police Department. He's still in critical condition. He was shot in the line of duty in front of a Petco responding to a domestic disturbance. There's been all kind of stuff come out about it anyway, but he was responding to, I don't know who called it in or whatever, but I guess there was a man, I don't know if it was the domestic, but it was just a disturbance. A guy acting, I guess, very erratically and everything else. I'm not sure all the details of the call. I know he was, I think he was working uniform patrol at the time, so he was in the unit. He arrived on the scene, and I'm not sure, but I believe that, I don't believe the guy even gave any, warnings or anything else. He pulled out an AR pistol and fired numerous rounds at Corporal Kelly. And I know he got struck in the neck, and he got struck several times in the legs. Right now, he's still in critical condition at the hospital. He is not conscious. Just everybody, if you're a religious person, just pray for him and his family. I do know he has I think a young son, older daughter, not super old, in their 20s or something. He's got a fairly young wife, and they're going through this tragedy because of a dirtbag that has probably didn't like cops or something. And I'm sure they'll say that, he had mental problems, blah, 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 blah. I really don't want to hear it. Anyway, the community in Denham Springs and Livingston Parish has rallied around the Denham Springs Police Department and Corporal Kelly's family, which is fantastic. So many other communities. I was talking to Christine, a listener that I met up with. We'll talk about in the next episode. They have no support, and I'll talk about proof that I saw on that. Anyway, they're doing blood drives. They've had over 500 people show up to give blood, and he's continuing to need blood. So if you're in the Livingston Parish, Baton Rouge, anyway, Tri-Parish area down here, go give blood. Tell them it's for Corporal Kelly. It goes towards him. They've had a prayer vigil where just tons of people showed up. This weekend on Saturday, May 20th, which I'm going to try to make it out there also. They're doing a benefit. They're doing a benefit drive to raise money for the family. I think they've already raised $10,000 for medical expenses already. It's going to take a whole lot more than that. They're selling jambalaya and all kinds of stuff like that. They're going to have Jeeps and motorcycles and all that stuff out there. The Sporting Center in Denham Springs has created a T-shirt for him, and all the money that from buying the T-shirt, all that money goes towards the family. You can also make contributions through PayPal and Cash App using it's the $ behind the line. It's an organization out here, and and put DSPD in the memo section, and that money will go to the family. I'll say this now, and I'll say it at the end. If you want to mail any money or checks or something, it's got to be money order's got to be a P.O. Box 2490, Denham Springs, Louisiana 70727. Guess that's a new zip code. Seems it's a different zip code for me. But anyway, I'll put up pictures. I'm gonna do some posting stuff. Like I said, I just got home last night. When this news hit us in D.C., I was up there with another couple other departments. East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Office. I was up there with Livingston Parish Sheriff's Office. All of us, Iberville. We all work. We're in the same area. We all know each other, especially us motor guys. We all know each other. Might not be super close, but we all know each other. We've all worked together. I just spoke to Corporal Kelly not too long ago at a funeral we went and escorted with the helicopter pilots for Baton Rouge. And my TikTok video, when we did the Edwin Edwards funeral, I mean, he's in that video. He was standing next to me. Like I said, I knew him when I used to work a bingo detail a long time ago. I mean, we used to talk all the time. Like I said, people move departments and you go here, you lose track of people. But we didn't lose track of each other. We just didn't hang out. We didn't talk like we used to. But that don't change the fact I knew this man. I know he had that a young family. I think he was around 50 or so, or my age. But I mean, he had a younger wife. He has a small son. Probably I don't know. He's a small son, maybe 10, maybe younger. I don't know. And for this dirtbag, I'm not even gonna say that this piece of shit's name. This dirtbag to shoot this man for no reason. Let's talk some more about it. Y'all just don't want to hear me, boo-hooing about it. I want some more information on it. Like I said, they're doing fundraisers. Even other people are saying, he was a great guy. He was always open to helping people. I'm going to try to have no dead air. I'm sorry. There's just so many different news articles on it. Here, let me plug in. Y'all can at least listen to some of the news articles that they put out on it and not just me talking about it.
Jerry Lane Buick GMC is the #1 Buick GMC dealer.
That's not my commercial. Let me turn that down a second. So.
Corporal Shawn Kelly remains in critical condition, fighting for his life after he was shot on Thursday. And earlier today, the community of DenhamSprings started their day by coming together and praying for Kelly. News 2's Tristan Turner was at the event and spoke with members of the community who are still shocked by what happened.
And pray that you would touch Mr. Shawn Kelly fighting for his life. God, that you would heal his body and that you would raise him up from that hospital bed.
Jeeps and bikes formed a prayer circle in the parking lot where DenhamSprings police officer Shawn Kelly was shot on Thursday.
You know, everybody says that they get nervous around police, but the best thing that we see around us is that they're here to help us, case in point. So we thought it'd be a good idea to come and show our support out here.
We're here to offer any prayers and any support for the family that we can. I think if you look at the size crowd that we have today, it's kind of a testament to how many people really care.
Tammy Felder decided to start the event with a simple message to her Jeep Club: show up and show support. But that message was heard by hundreds of people in DenhamSprings who also wanted to show their support on Saturday morning.
They need to know that we care, and they needed to know that we love them and that we're here for them. And this community is so tight-knit. And I actually just put it out to our Jeep Club and thought, yeah, you know, we'll have a few Jeepers show up. And my Jeepers come out in storms, and they were like, we're in, we're in, we're in. And I was like, okay, y'all, let's make this public. And it was born.
In this typically quiet community, tragedies like the shooting that unfolded Thursday have a way of bringing everyone together.
I grew up here, just like a lot of people, and this doesn't happen here. We all have each other. I mean, look at the flood. I mean, we came together, and that's what we have to do again.
In DenhamSprings, Tristan Turner, WBRZ News 2.
There will be another blood drive for Corporal Kelly Monday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Livingston Parish Courthouse. An Our Lady of the Lake donation bus will be parked outside.
All right. That was one of those stories. Like I said, it's just, I'm trying not to cuss or anything. It's just messed up. And the guy that, I'm trying to find it, they had another little girl that is very lucky. I don't want to say here it is. Let's listen to this and we can talk about it. But she's very, very lucky. I don't want to get any of the details wrong. I have to get past the dang commercials. So, this little girl is extremely, extremely lucky.
And we are learning much more about what led up to that shooting and a telling encounter involving the shooter just moments earlier. A 17-year-old had a run-in with Justin Roberts Thursday afternoon. 2 on Your Side's Brittany Weiss has her story.
Kind of nervous. I was like, goodness gracious.
It's something Charlie Scott cannot believe happened.
It made me realize how close he was to me.
This gold Jeep followed her into her driveway.
So I was like, okay, this is kind of weird.
Now, since we're audio and not video, you can, they're like a Jeep Cherokee. This is very good cameras these people have in their house. You can see it. This guy, just before he shot the officer, followed this little girl home for some road rage incident or something. And she's like a teenager. So and you can see him in the driveway. This young girl is so lucky she didn't end up getting killed.
That at 3:48 Thursday afternoon, Scott had picked up some chicken fingers from this Cane's after school, and as she pulled onto range, noticed that same gold Jeep.
As I was turning right onto Pete's Highway, he passed me up into school zone. It was like 25, and he went about 50. Then he brake checked me like immediately. I was like, okay, why are we having some road rage here?
She says he brake checked her twice. All she was trying to do was get home. Soon after, the driver of the Jeep got behind her, following her. But she didn't notice until the car was in her driveway.
I pulled in, I saw him pulling like all the way up to there. I was like, what are you doing?
She stayed in her car and closed the garage door. By the time she looked outside again, the Jeep had left. About 30 minutes later, police responded to a disturbance in the Petco parking lot. They say that's where Justin Roberts started shooting, injuring DenhamSprings police officer Shawn Kelly. Scott watching it all unfold in the news.
I was like, that's the exact same Jeep that was in my driveway that was following me home. That's kind of a weird coincidence.
It was then things started to register.
Oh my gosh, I literally got followed home.
She got a look at him in the 6-minute drive home from lunch. They made eye contact.
He kind of looked old, not like too old. He had like long hair.
The ordeal has taught her some things: to pay more attention and don't lead someone suspicious to your house.
If you think somebody's following you, call 911. Don't go home.
A lesson learned. Thankful that she's okay. Brittany Weiss, 2 on Your Side in Denham Springs.
Scott hopes others hear her story and learn from her mistake.
I believe if that little girl would have stepped out of her car, that he would have opened fire on her. He was that far. She was in her garage, but the door wasn't closed yet when she noticed. I believe if she would have stepped out of her vehicle and confronted him, said, "What are you doing?" or something, just she would have got her car, I believe he would have shot and killed that little girl. Because this idiot, this piece of shit, sorry I'm cussing, this piece of crap, human filth, excrement, had bad intentions on his mind. Like I said, I believe if this little girl would have gotten out in front of him, then he would have opened fire and probably killed her. But she does make a point. So many people nowadays have no situational awareness of what's going on around them. I talk about this to other people. People walk around with headphones in their ear. They have no idea of what's going on around them, who's behind them, who's following them. You're driving. I guess it's because I'm going to talk about something in another episode. I got all kind of ideas swirled in my head, but you have to pay attention. Only thing I can say is the good Lord himself was on this little girl's side that day. Or we might have had more bodies. So like I said, this piece of human filth, this garbage, just you know, he had bad intentions. Unfortunately, Corporal Kelly caught the brunt of it. It could have been so much more worse if it wasn't for him showing up to do his job. Bad guy, I don't know if you're wondering, bad guy is now burning in hell where he belongs. He is dead. A deputy from the Lucas Parish Sheriff's Office caught up with him down the road while he was trying to make his escape. I don't know if he was heading towards his house or what. They confronted him. Shots were exchanged. The deputy was okay. Bad guy took a round to the head. Died later at the hospital. He died, period. Praise Jesus on that. Justice served. Let him burn in hell. Everybody's like, oh, but he had a family. I personally don't care about his family. If his family cared about him and knew they could start yelling and screaming that this piece of crap, oh, he had mental problems, he had this, he had that, then I blame you also. Because you're the ones that did not make sure he went and got the help he needed. I guarantee y'all knew he had a gun. So if y'all know he had mental problems, why didn't y'all do something about it? So that makes you culpable. So I don't want to hear it. I don't feel sorry for his family. Especially if they knew. And first thing they'll holler is, oh, he had mental problems. Well, if you knew that, then this is partly your fault. Blood's on your hand also. The bad guy got exactly what he deserved. Death. He's dead. We don't have to waste our time with a trial. People don't have to relive stuff, talk about it. And, you know, the way the justice system is, it seems nowadays, you know, he wouldn't have got a sentence he deserved anyway. Like I said, Corporal Kelly's still unconscious. Nobody knows. So, no. So I don't like what I'm saying about that. FYF society. You don't know what I'm talking about, figure it out. If I'm hurting your feelings, turn me off. I don't care. He's a piece of crap. And he's where he deserves to be. See what else we have on here. about it. I'm going to be wrapping this one up shortly. It's not going to be a long one. It's just about Corporal Kelly. They did have I did get a story today on some stuff. While I do not agree with what this individual said, I agree that he has the right to say it and feel the way he wants to. And unfortunately, in the line of law enforcement like we're in, a lot being a law enforcement person, you're not allowed to voice your opinion on a lot of stuff. It's got a video with it. We'll watch it. I haven't even watched it. I just read the story. So let's listen to it, and then we'll talk about that in a minute, and then we'll finish this one up. Same library commercial.
And we are learning much more about what led up to that shooting and a telling encounter involving the shooter just moments earlier. A 17-year-old had a run-in with Justin Roberts Thursday afternoon. 2 on Your Side's Brittany Weiss has her story.
Hold on. For some reason, it's the same video. I'm not going to listen to the same one again. I'll just read the story. They used the same video. Anyway, the headline over this is from WBRZ, Channel 2, Baton Rouge. It says a Baton Rouge Police Department officer, he's facing an internal investigation over some comments he made following this shooting of Corporal Kelly. It says a Baton Rouge police officer is the subject of an internal affairs investigation after he apparently criticized a teenage girl who had a run-in with the crazed gunman who shot an officer last week. On Friday, high school senior Charlie Scott told the news we listened to her encounter. Bad guy, not going to say his name. We're just going to call him piece of crap. I'm trying not to cuss much on this. I'm trying to keep this one PG for everybody. I'm doing my best. Anyway, he was 30 years old. That's all we're going to call him. He's a piece of crap. She said that he had turned in front of her, brake checked her. He had some road rage incident. For some reason, he was probably trying to get somebody to confront him so he could shoot them. All right, so we had all of that. Half an hour later, he ended up shooting. Anyway, the little girl's mom posted about her daughter's scary encounter on Facebook. Trying to hope, maybe open some people's eyes. Hey, pay attention what's going on around you. Put your phones down. Pay attention. Pay attention if somebody's following you. We're going to do an episode on something like that shortly coming up. It's a message that needs to be done. One message from a Baton Rouge police officer. You saw it on Facebook. Guess he made a comment, which he has every right to do. Right? First Amendment, freedom of speech. There's a lot of people I don't agree with. If I don't want to listen to what their podcast or whatever, I don't watch, I don't have to watch CNN if I don't choose to. If you don't like what somebody's saying, don't listen to it. Okay? Anyway, this message, I'm not going to say his name. He said that he hoped that the little girl feels bad over the shooting, seemingly trying to place blame on the teen. Tell your friend Charlie that I hope she feels bad because she could have prevented the officer from getting shot if she would have reported the vehicle. Baton Rouge spokesman confirmed the department has launched an investigation into the comment. Baton Rouge chief contacted the mom, apologized on behalf of the department. She stated she heard similar complaints against the girl against him, and that his past conduct must be part of the internal review. So obviously this guy's got a history of it. This officer didn't come out straight out and just say it. Hey, it's your daughter's fault. She's a high school girl. She probably thinking, oh, it's just a dude trying to scare me or something like that. Most people don't think that they have a crazed gunman behind them. Okay? Do I put any blame on this little girl? No. I do not. She did not know. Would it have been nice if she would have reported it? Yes, but many people would not have reported that. She probably called her mom or her dad. Hey, some crazy dude, some weird dude followed me home and then he left. You know? Thank God he left. Thank God he didn't shoot that little girl. Is it her fault that Corporal Kelly got shot? No. Should she feel bad about it? No. It's not her fault. Of course, I live under the belief that everything happens for a purpose. Everything happens for a reason. Everything. When it's your time, it's your time. I've been over the hood of 2 cars and walked away. I know guys have been over to 1 and didn't. Why am I luckier than them? I don't know. Because it wasn't my time. When it's your time, it's your time. If it was time for him to get shot, it don't matter who, what, when, where, how. That's how I believe. Everybody has their own beliefs. Some people don't believe at all. It's their choice. I have friends, I know people that are atheists that don't believe in God at all. I mean, that's their choice. But this little girl, no. Do I think this man, you know, do I agree with him? Oh, hell no. Do I think there's a time and place to make certain comments? Yeah. Was that the time and the place to put a blame like that on a teenage girl? No. I mean, wake up and think a little bit, dude. I say some crazy stuff, some inappropriate stuff. But there's a time and a place when you're supposed to say stuff, okay? Don't try to put that on that little girl. That's wrong. You're wrong for that. Does he have a right to say it? Yeah. Does he have a right to think it? Yeah. So just because you don't agree with somebody, don't give it the right. I don't know what kind of past that this guy's got. But unfortunately, being in law enforcement, the majority of your opinions, your thoughts are handcuffed behind you. You don't get to express how you feel about things. Most departments have very, very, very stringent social media policy. I've seen a lot of people get fired over stuff, which is unfortunate because we're being in law enforcement. A lot of people in law enforcement don't get the same freedoms that we're out here trying to protect for everybody else to be able to use. Everybody's going to have freedom of speech. In law enforcement, a lot of times you don't get that. You almost give up part of your freedom of speech to protect people's freedom of speech. Does that make sense? It's going to be a subject for another episode also. We're just checking them off, aren't we? All right. It's kind of a somber one. Everybody out there pray for Sergeant Shawn Kelly and his family. I got some other things to say about it, but that's going to be on the Patreon. If you want to hear that, the rest of the story, like Paul Harvey, you will have to join the Patreon for that. Other than that, I'll see everybody Wednesday for the live show. Everybody stay safe, and see y'all then.
Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Yo, I got a lot of shit to say, so I'ma do this every day. I'll be writing things until I'm